Okay, mages, I don't care about them. With the border garrison captured by your disfavored allies, you traveled ahead of Kairos' armies and lured the shadow of the bastard city. You decided that that converting one of the locals to Kairos' side would help bring the city to its knees. After all, corruption starts from within. You enlist a bitter captain of the guard to sell military secrets. You came to an agreement with a well-connected smuggler. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the captain of the guard. The captain of the guard was of a mind that the bastard city was corrupt and descending and deserving of better leadership. You did nothing to convince him otherwise. After taking your promises of stature and security to heart, he offered you a list of valuable assets, from weakened stones in the rampart to the state of siege provisions, capping it off with a list of the city officials whose loyalties could likewise be turned to support your cause. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the bastard city ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city defenses for the arrival of Kairos' forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of the bastard city? Keeping the shadows, you eliminated the leaders of the bastard city one by one. Okay, and it gives me the concealing shadows ability. Spreading word of Kairos, you converted the poor and disaffectioned and hidden armies. Okay. What does that give me? Searing Palm. Oh, it's a fire magic. You challenged the commander of the bastard city's defenses to an honorable fight to the death. The disfavored wished to spare soldiers' lives in the battle. Blah blah blah. Warriors' respite. I think based on the character that I've made so far, being an assassin makes the most sense. Some deaths were quiet and unnoticed, while others were gruesome beyond words. As a wave of murders overtook the city's elite, your deeds swelled in infamy. Well before the armies arrived, no one in the bastard city felt safe in their homes, much less behind their walls. By the time Kairos' forces crested the horizon, the city was fearful enough to throw open the gates and welcome their new protectors. Ba-bam! Settled into a new state of... Okay, so now I get to choose where I take next. Divided into two fronts and migrated south, Tunon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Lethan's Crossing, or as the war advisor with the armies advancing on the realm of Apex. I'm gonna be the judge and overseer. I mean, my character's not really a warrior. They're sort of a hunter. And I did get recruited as a judge. I'm not trying to metagame this if it wasn't obvious already. I'm trying more or less to kind of play as a roleplay the character that I'm making. Years ago, Lethian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient odd walls. Oh, ancient old walls. Wow. A pact between the settlers and a mercenary company meant that the caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. I like that. Modest insignificance. Lethian's Crossing drew Kairos' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kairos' control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapons in the known world. The Archon of Secrets dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. Tunon dispatched you to travel alongside Kairos' forces and bring order to the region. Okay, now I get choices. This seems like more of a magey one. Okay. I think I like this solution best, because Beastmen is like what my character's background is. It's probably not a very good idea. Alright, next. Kyrus' armies used Lethian's Crossing as a reprieve from the war. The city grew more crowded as a mercenary army hired by the Archon of Secrets occupied the barracks, where they drained resources and escalated tensions. The Disavowed wanted nothing to do with the sellswords, but the Sacred Chorus sought to invite them into the fold. Pick of the Armory. Since you aided in the production of weapons, commanders of both armies lobbied for additional arms. They offered all manner of bribes to be the next in line for... Okay. You allowed no changes. And push for those who tried to bribe you Oh. Ooh. Have the iron, keeping the best tools. Yeah, I think... Huh. No, I'm gonna go with this one. Using language that left nothing open to interpretation, you let both commanders know that bribery would not be tolerated in Kyrus' military. That didn't stop either of them from seeking you out again, making promises of wealth and advancement if you showed special favor. Deciding that enough was enough, you ordered both of the commanders flogged in view of their armies, letting pain and humiliation teach them where reason had failed. Ba-bam. Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the voices of Nerat injured forge-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunon ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kyros's more responsible servants. Only a token garrison could be left behind while the armies returned to the front, as the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility towards each other. Tunon decreed it best that only one force controlled the crossing. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna go with the disfavored. These guys just seem insane. But then again, the disfavored were like, you know, ban the sellswords, kill the cultists. I'm not sure I really like that. This side seemed a little bit more chill. Discipline and heart, battle hardened. Dude, fuck it. Relieved at the departure of the Scarlet Chorus, the citizens of Lethian's Crossing felt they got the least of two burdens. You received a word from Graven Ash, thanking you for your decision. The Forge-bound and their weaponry could not be entrusted to the voices of Nerat. Okay. God, this opening, like, tutorial bit, like, there's a lot to it. Alright, let's read them. Within easy defendable position, rich military tradition. Okay. Let's go with Azure. Because I'm like a stealthy hunter kind of character. I don't think I'd be good in siege or city combat, which is what both of these are. This one, maybe. Oh, that one might actually be good. Fuck it, let's go with that one. Oh, is this the first bit of, like, gameplay? Nope. The Vellum Citadel was an archive and library of massive scale. Its inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that centuries ago carved out their own mountainous refuge. Oh, it's a mage place. Fuck, I should have known it was going to be a mage place. Legend said that the Citadel housed a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. The Overlord's spies infiltrated the school and confirmed much the same. The time was ripe to send a detachment to the Great Library Fortress and force the scholars to yield to Kairos. Blast of arcane energy struck the commanders dead. Suddenly, the highest-ranking officer alive, Kairos' forces look to you for the next steps. Okay. Huh. Okay. Siren Archon of Song used her power to enthrall enemy mages who crept beyond the Citadel walls. After Kairos' forces rounded up the arcane practitioners, the disfavored began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge, a crime under Kairos' law with the Scarlet Chorus. Oh. Oh, interesting. I mean, they did commit a crime, and I'm trying to be, like, a good judge. Yeah. Yeah, so I just gave some of the hyper lawful soldiers over to the crazy people as bodyguards. The Archon of Song incited Scarlet Chorus recruits to fight their leaders. Bosses were killed and supplanted left and right. The disfavored managed an end to the practice for the good of the conquest. The disfavored demanded an end to the conquest. Okay, yeah. A group of enemy mages surrendered to the disfavored, claiming to be spies loyal to the voices of Narat. No one in the army could verify that claim. Disfavored readied to interrogate them, but the Scarlet Chorus protested, demanding that the prisoners be given to their custody. They couldn't risk the voices of Narat's secrets falling into the wrong hands. Honestly, the disfavored are being dicks in this section. I'm siding with the Scarlet Chorus again. The company, when asked about the following day, the Scarlet Chorus admitted that they sent the mages to the Voices of Narat with an escort, dispatching them under cover of night without due authorization. You reprimanded the soldiers for keeping you out of the loop, but there was naught else that could be done about the matter. Disgusted by your approbation of the Scarlet Chorus, the disfavored forces withdrew from the field of battle. Your small detachment now lacked the manpower to take Vellum Citadel. Tinon sent word that Kyrus' patience had run thin. The Overlord would cast an edict of fire on the Academy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it, the words of spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You had the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of devastation to come. You could also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee or make amends. I'll give him a day. I mean, it's not my fault the fucking pussy-ass Dishonored retreated. Disfavored, what is that called? You confronted the mages with a warning and hoped the message was received. The hour before sunset, numerous figures were spotted fleeing the citadel. As the sun dipped under the horizon, you read the words of the edict. The earth shook, and red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava heated with explosive force, gushing from the windows between loose bricks, melting winding trenches in the surrounding land. Days later, the flames still raged. The conflagration continually fed and renewed by the power of the edict. Jesus, that's fucking brutal. Well, they can't surrender. The Emperor got bored, so time to burn it down. The enemies of Kairos left the devastation of Vellum Citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears came to know the once noble citadel as the Burning Library. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture, and life. But a message had been sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. You didn't have long to rest before Tunon called you into the service once more. Oh boy. You were one of the last to depart from the mountains, and as you journeyed off, you spotted a few campfires in the mountains. They were mere specks, dwarfed by the inferno, the last gasps of survivors, or perhaps looters from Kairos' army, bored and daring enough to pick through the ashes. Alright, one more and then I think it's on to the actual game.